Do you ever wonder how chess players can calculate so many moves ahead? Well, it's because they practice solving compositions, which are chess puzzles that are human-made and haven't actually occurred in any real games. Now, the thing about these compositions is that they are often quite difficult, but they also result in beautiful winning combinations. So today I'm here to share with you 5 compositions that I personally really enjoyed solving and hope you enjoy solving too. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Now let's get started. I would like to start off with this position over here because when I first saw it, I was completely amazed by the solution because at first it seems that white is no way going to win. If you ever move your king, let's say to c1, then it seems that black can just continue mirroring you and eventually black will pick up all these white pawns and you're just completely lost if that happens. But there's a remarkable solution that I will let you guys pause the video if you want to try and figure it out for yourself first before I reveal the solution. So the best move for white here is g6. And this is an amazing pawn breakthrough because whichever way black takes it, white is able to advance their pawn and promote it faster than black. So let's first look at if black takes it was the f pawn. Then you can go h6. And now if you take the h pawn, the f pawn will advance and promote. And if you take the f pawn, then the h pawn will take the g pawn and then promote. Now the same thing happens except mirrored if you take was the h pawn. Here now white goes f6, and if you take the f pawn, then white goes h6 and promotes. If you take the h pawn, then white goes f takes g7 and promotes. So the key takeaway here is that even in seemingly hopeless positions, you can look at where your pawns and your enemy's pawns are positioned and see if any breakthroughs can happen. And these breakthroughs often involve sacrifices, but it doesn't matter how many pawns you sacrifice as long as you can promote to a queen before your opponent. This second composition involves a queen endgame. And I find these to be particularly tricky because the queen can give so many checks, especially when both of the kings are exposed like this. So here it is white to move, and white has a beautiful combination of moves that I want you to try and find. So pause the video here to look for it yourself. Okay, so now hopefully you found the stunning sequence that begins with rook to c8 check. Black is forced to take, and here the idea is that you don't take back the rook with check, and instead you go queen a7 check. And if black doesn't take this, then you try to run, then you can go b8, promote, and even something as simple as queen to d4 check. The king has to move again, and this is completely winning, so I don't need to talk about that. Instead, if black tries to take your queen, here you have an amazing under promotion to a knight. And wherever the king goes, you can take back the queen and you'll win up these 2 pawns, and this pawn will promote eventually and you'll win the game. So that is an incredible under promotion and goes to show that tactics can be found in seemingly drawn endgames. For this third composition over here, it is clear that white is completely winning, but the challenge I have for you is to find mate in 2. Now, a little funny backstory about this, I first encountered this puzzle a few years ago when I was playing a chess club in Montreal. And at first, it completely stumped me, but I was looking through every candidate move possible, even looking at ridiculous moves that seemingly didn't work at all, and that's how I found my answer. So there's a little hint for you there, but I'll give you a few seconds. Feel free to pause the video to try and figure out this puzzle. Alright, so to checkmate into here, you have to, as a famous chess streamer would say, sacrifice the rook! And after black takes it, you can deliver checkmate on h1 with the queen. And I thought this was a great puzzle to share because even though white is already completely winning, it just goes to show the beautiful piece coordination that white has and black lacks, in that literally the king has nowhere to go. So if you work backwards, you can figure out that if the queen goes to h1, it can deliver checkmate. Moving on to composition number 4, here you can observe that white has 2 pieces while black has 2 pawns, but right now both of white's pieces are being attacked. However, there is a way for white to save this and win in a few moves. So as always, feel free to pause the video and figure it out for yourself. Okay, so the first move here is knight g8, protecting the bishop and moving the knight out of danger. Now black can go king g7, and at first it appears that the knight is trapped. And that is true, the knight can't go anywhere without being taken by the pawn or the king, and it looks like it's just going to be a draw because white's going to lose the knight and you can't checkmate with just a bishop, right? Well, in this situation, white can actually go king d7, and sure, black can take the knight, but then white critically goes king e6, and black has to go king h8, white can go king f7, and here the only move for black is to push his pawn on e7, and here white delivers checkmate with the bishop. And this is incredible because if black did not have those two pawns, then it would have been a draw because of chess rules, you can't just mate with only one bishop, but because of those two pawns and the active king, white is able to deliver checkmate in spectacular fashion. Now for this final composition, I must warn you that it is a little bit of a crazy one. We're coming into master level play right here, but I'll be very impressed if you can figure it out, so feel free to pause the video and try it out for yourself. Alrighty, so if you were able to solve this puzzle, huge kudos to you because even Stockfish was not able to figure it out until after the first move. So the first move here is bishop to c7, and you're just completely sacrificing your queen. But if black takes it, which is the best move, then you can take the pawn on f7, and black has to move his king to h8. If he goes to f8, then it's just mate in 1, of course. So after king h8, then the bishop goes to e5, and here you're weaving in amazing mating net, and there's actually nothing black can do about it. It's going to be forced checkmate in a few moves, but black does have one way to try and resist the most. So the best way for black to try and fight on is to go queen to c5, because black's plan is to take the bishop, and after that white will be left with practically no more material. However, white is obviously not going to let that happen, and instead can go bishop to e2. Here, black's best try is to go knight c7, because this completely boxes white's king. It can't go to any of the squares surrounding it, and therefore can't deliver checkmate immediately. And because of that, the only piece that white can realistically move is the bishop. So the move for white here is to go bishop a1. And black also is at kind of a loss of moves, zigzag if you will. And black doesn't want to move their queen or their knight because that will allow the king to escape. So instead, black's best move is to go a4. And here, white's bishop can go bishop b2, and black goes a3. The white bishop goes to a1 again, black goes a2, and then the bishop comes back out. And here black has nothing better to do than promote, but then the white bishop will take it. And finally, we are in a place where black has run out of moves. So first, let's see what happens if black tries to move their queen. Let's say they go to a3, then white can go king g5 check. Black can take the bishop, but then white will promote their f-pawn and checkmate. Similarly, if black moves their pawn, then white can just go queen g6, and after the queen gives itself up, then white will have checkmate. Finally, if black gives a check with the knight, then white can go king e6, and if black blocks, white can simply take it, and after the queen takes back, there's checkmate once again on f8. So there you go. That was an incredible composition that was really tricky, but showed the power of zigzag and waiting moves. So that's all for today's video. Let me know how many compositions you got right. They were quite difficult, but portrayed some very instructive motifs. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, bye!